and the Dolphins playing Thanksgiving against the Lions this year.
Oh, the Lions.
Oh.
Which
little revenge game for Dan Campbell.
Yeah. Wow.
Is it?
It's the first time that I've considered that the NFL is going to be going on at the same time as the World Cup. So there will be a World Cup game being played during Finn's Lions. No one's going to be watching what?
No one's going to be watching the World Cup over Thanksgiving
Finn's
football.
Lions?
Yeah.
Nobody.
Really?
Nobody.
Do you still get up for the Lions Thanksgiving game? Because
It's Thanksgiving. I mean,
Gambling, fantasy.
tradition unlike any other.
Family.
Yep.
Yeah.
yeah, you do always forget the fantasy.
Big fantasy
I
implications.
know, but I always forget.
In the hunt for the title.
Yeah.
You need DeAndre Swift. He goes out in the first quarter. You motherfuck everybody.
I hate a
love it.
Thursday start, though. I do. Having to start one of your
Oh, it's
guys
the
in a
worst.
the worst.
Right, and there's 2 more Thursday games. For me, by the time you get to the 8 o'clock game, I don't even. I most
The best
Thanksgivings.
game, though.
No, but most Thanksgivings, I don't even know what it is. I just know the Cowboys play at 4:30, the Lions play at 12:30, and there's some other game at 8 that's probably on the
it's
NFL.
always the
Network.
Ravens. The Ravens are always
yeah.
playing at 8 o'clock.
The early game is the one that I think I watch the most.
Yeah,
Because the second game is when I'm getting ready or I'm
Right.
in transit to wherever I'm going. And then the third game, I'm usually like, oh. Yeah, and I'll fall asleep watching it. I usually won't finish it unless I have someone playing.
if
Or I
Thanksgiving
like
had
the
a
halftime
slogan or like a catchphrase, it would just be,
show. Yeah.
Unbuckle the belt.
yeah.
What week is that, by the way?
Who wears a belt?
What week number?
Yeah.
I don't know. It's usually isn't it like week 12 or week 13 of the season?
I'm just asking because if it's going to be
Week 12.
Lions, Dolphins.
It was Lions Bears last year.
Yeah. They put out a video of Tua yesterday looking good. So
Looking good.
By
No,
then-
stop that. Stop that. Come
Okay.
on.
What do you
are we
mean?
doing? What are we doing here?
Let's break this down. So Billy said to me, "There's a video of Tua throwing
Yeah.
a pass to Tyreek Hill."
Right.
I went and found it.
Exciting.
Unbearably sad.
Not exciting.
The opposite of exciting.
No, you guys aren't thinking about what's going on there.
Okay. Show
Enlighten
me.
us, yeah.
Football Illuminati.
Okay, so
Keep your third eye open.
so
Where is Amin?
I don't know.
he kind of
I-
comes and
I've-
goes as he pleases.
I've texted him
on your dime.
He's aware of what time he's. Maybe he has Sirius XM radio today. Well, I will say,
Huh?
in 45 minutes time from when we're recording this, he's supposed to be on with Nick Wright, and he's not here. So I don't know if he had a long night out, if he's got radio, but I put a text out to Amin, and I don't know where he is.
Did you want him to break down the Tua video, or you just didn't want to hear us break down the Tua video?
I want to
What
talk
happened
about the Tua video. I'm interested
good, huh?
in all your thoughts on it. I wanted to also talk about A.J. Brown betting $50,000 that if Tyreek Hill and DK Metcalf raced, that DK Metcalf would win that race because they've been talking about racing. But tell me about the sad Tua video as everyone questions whether or not Tyreek Hill already regrets, fell to his knees at the end of his route while he's waiting for the punt to come
No.
from the sky and started weeping the name Mahomes gently.
Why sad? What was sad about that video?
What was sad about the video was the Dolphins are trying to do something cinematic. They have a very good video team. So we get a shot of Tua in the red jersey as he's wearing a bucket hat. He's lining up a long throw to Tyreek Hill. You see the
40
throw
yards.
in the air. The first bit of the throw looks fantastic. It's a tight spiral. As we get to the second half of the throw, the spiral starts to unwind a bit. And then we see at the end of the football, at the end of the rainbow, is Tyreek Hill stood still, waiting for the ball to get to him.
I saw nothing but positives in that video.
And it did not make me excited for this Dolphin season at all.
That's
it
not the way
reminded
to
me
use
of
them.
all of
I
the
mean-
ways that Tyreek Hill is not going to be utilized in this offense.
He did
We're
that
paying
at
him $30 million a year to stand under Tua punts.
He did that at an F1 track, I'll remind you, where winds are picking up, and he broke through those winds. Both of them, by the way. The pass broke through the wind. Tyreek Hill broke through the wind.
Yep.
They didn't drop the ball. Nothing but good signs.
I believe that no matter how
Imagine doing that at an airport. You think you could do that at an airport as jets are flying by?
Do
Those-
what at an airport?
Those cars have
Throw the
jet
ball?
engines. Yeah. You can't throw a ball with those winds.
Yep.
And he broke right through it.
This is why I don't believe him cheering for the Panthers. This speak right here.
They
Yeah.
invited me to drive the Zamboni.
Yeah, I saw that. That was exciting.
That was finalized, though.
Well, no, I invited myself,
Oh,
but we're
okay.
working on that. I was invited to shoot hot dogs out of a hot dog cannon in Wisconsin.
What?
Yeah.
Well, what are you waiting for?
Those negotiations are ongoing as we speak.
What needs to happen for you to drive the Zamboni?
The Panthers have to say, "Would you like to drive
They
the
have,
Zamboni?"
they have to answer
Yeah.
you first.
Well, they have to acknowledge my presence and they have to answer me, right? But here's the thing. I did that out of the kindness of my heart because what's going on here...
kindness of your heart.
Yeah, out of the kindness of my heart. What's the confusion here?
What did you do out of the kindness of your heart?
I offered to help them by driving the Zamboni because the Zamboni, while some of you say, oh, wow, that's such a selfish thing. You just want to go and be on the Zamboni for all the pomp and circumstance. No, friends. The Zamboni has a very important function in the hockey game, does it not?
Yes.
Okay. So you guys who are there just cheering on the Windcats, the Ice Cats, all you're doing is asking for more and more from them. Win the game. Make me happy. Do this. Score a goal. Do that. No one's exactly. I want pizza discounts. That's all you guys are asking. No one's saying, how can I help? How can I do my part in this run for Lord Stanley's Cup? And I said, you know what? I know my limitations. I can't play on the Florida Panthers. I can't do anything to help them in game as part of the team. I know that I can, okay? I tried. We did that hockey video a couple years ago. I wasn't very good, okay? Now, it was my first time. Could I be great? Yes. But I can't do it in enough time for this playoff run. So I said, well, how can I pitch in? What can I do? Bring awareness to this team? Yes, check. I've been doing that all season.
Yep.
I've been talking about the Panthers.
What?
Yeah.
What?
So now,
He's right.
now
Big
that we're
fan.
grinding
There have been
here,
20 segments of Billy. How do we get you interested in this? At least a minimum of 20
Here
segments.
we are. Yeah.
awareness, okay? How we start the conversation doesn't matter. It's that
Let
we're
me
having
be at
the
the
conversation.
center of the ice driving the Zamboni is
No,
the answer to your question.
No,
He's chipping
let
in.
me help. Let me help with the chips in the ice.
Yep.
That's how I'm chipping in, by filling in the chips. You know what I mean?
Isn't
In
there
the quest for the chip.
isn't there a liability issue there with Zambonis? Do they is that a thing that they're still doing? They allow just a random person to drive the Zamboni?
No, they sit on the top of the Zamboni while the actual person drives
I'd
it.
prefer to drive to help out.
It's fun though.
Yeah,
I'm sure it is.
I want to help out. I haven't heard any of you offering to do anything to help.
Stugotz offered to go to the game
That doesn't
tonight.
help.
It was a fake
Cover the
offer.
team. Yeah.
Well, he would have helped by cheering and cover the team.
I'm a credentialed media member.
Awareness.
That's not helping. You
Well,
have
no,
an
awareness does
antagonistic
help.
relationship with the Panthers.
Awareness does help.
Okay.
I'm curious though as to if parameters were ever finalized for that bet.
Well, we should because MapQuest says 15 minutes. Waze says 21 minutes. I feel like we should split the difference. I'm thinking like 17, 18 minutes. I'd like to know, do I have to be in the arena, Dan,
Yeah.
for this bet? $500 for me from my house to the BB&T Center for a big game 5 tonight.
What's the start line and the finish line? And it's the FL Live arena.
I don't
Yeah,
understand why you're trying to negotiate bet terms when I made the bet because you were wrong about the amount of time that it would take from your house to the arena. So now you're trying to get more time and you're trying to get less close to the arena to qualify for the time. I'm simply telling you, you can't get there in 10 to 15 minutes, period. That's it. That's all I've got for you. You said your house was 10 to 15 minutes from the arena, and I'm telling you that I will give you $500 if you can do that drive in 10 to 15 minutes. That's it. That's what the bet is.
Where do I need to?
There's no consequences to you. It's not a bet to you. All you got to do is do it. It's not costing you money. It doesn't cost you $1,500 if you fail.
Right, I know, but gas is expensive and stuff. So where do I have to be? In the parking lot or inside the actual arena? Inside the actual arena, I'm not going to make it.
Red
Stugotz,
lights
You're
kinda,
not going to make it, period.
Well, we'll
Stugotz.
see.
You don't
I mean-
have the. First of all, you're not going to make it because you're not going to try. That's the
Well,
first part of it. You're not even going to get in your car and go. That's the first part of this that is going to have you lose this bet that's not a bet because it's just all you have to do is be able to make it in 15 minutes to the parking lot of the arena and you will get $500.
Wow.
You have already negotiated and chiseled this down from 10 minutes and in the arena to 15 minutes in the parking lot, and you will still not make it, and you will still not even try to make it because you're a liar.
Can I get 18 minutes?
No.
18 minutes.
No.
3 extra minutes.
No.
I'll take the bet down. Like,
Why are you? You're trying to negotiate with me on something that I'm not going to negotiate
$50
with
for
you.
every extra
No,
minute
I've given
you give me.
I've given you.
At $3.50,
That's
I'm
very
letting you off the
charitable.
hook.
Yeah.
I mean, because I can get there in 15. I mean,
Okay, then do
got to
it.
push it.
Then do it.
All right.
But that's, the 18, though, gives them time for more safe driving and accounts for like a red light. Dan, do you remember when I think it was Domino's? Who was it that guaranteed 30 minutes or less
Domino's,
pizza delivery?
Yeah.
And there was all kinds of accidents and there was all kind of craziness because people didn't want to be giving away free pizza, so it led to reckless driving and all kinds of headaches. Like, you don't want that on your hands. What happens if Stugotz gets in an accident or something? You know what I mean? Like, you don't want to be held responsible for that because I think now that it's being said on air, like, you're liable for whatever happens to him while he's driving. Wow. So, like, you could give him 3 extra minutes and, potentially it could cost you $500 if he does it in 18 minutes, or you could deal with insurance claims, speeding tickets, all that stuff,
Yeah,
so it's a lot more expensive the other
I'm not going to
way.
negotiate with both of you. I've
Stugotz
made the deal I'm going to make.
Stugotz is liable for his bullshit. How does Dan, who lives on South Beach, know the geography of Northwest Broward
I just
County
know that
better
he's
than
always
you
lying.
do?
He's always exaggerating. Stugotz does not. You have to understand this about Stugotz. It's not an act. It's a real thing. He will exaggerate just for the sake of exaggerating. There's no number or anything that comes out of Stugotz's mouth that is the real thing. It's always some sort of thing that is inflated for no reason other than Stugotz wishes with every syllable to get away with something.
Totally fair. Right now, it's questing at 19 minutes.
So there you go.
But I have my shortcut that no one knows about.
Oh.
Little shorty.
Regretting this decision yet, Dan? Shortcut.
He's not going to even get into his car and go. Like, it's not merely
I've got
that.
nothing to lose.
It's not merely you have nothing to lose, and yet you will lose because you will come in here tomorrow and not have done it. You will not successfully be able to do that trip in 15 minutes. And furthermore, I will make you prove that the beginning of that video is at your house and not some sort of doctored thing.
I'm not giving away my address.
You have to start at your house and get there, but you're not even going to try. Because that's who you are.
The thing is that Stugotz has a lot of factors working against him, right? Like yesterday we learned that someone in his family trapped him in his house and broke a key in the lock. He couldn't even get out of the house.
That
you know
was
what
Emma.
I mean?
Yeah.
So like, what is he
After she
supposed
got a
to?
flat tire. I mean, what a day for her.
What's he supposed to do in that instance? His car has a flat. There's keys locked in his lock. Like, how is he supposed to combat with this?
That's why I heard muttered go to college already.
What?
An update on Amin.
You heard that?
Text from Amin.
I love you, Em.
Holy shit, overslept. Be there shortly.
I kind of saw that.
I love the holy shit part. Like, you knew you overslept. Come on.
Do you think he feels bad about the oversleeping?
No,
I don't think
not
so
at all.
either.
No. Do you oversleep? Do you know you overslept, though? I don't think you know that. I think you know it once you wake up.
Your body knows. You're like,
Really?
ooh, I should not be this relaxed right now.
I mean, when you wake up late, that's when you know.
No, for me, it's the position of the sun. Everyone knows the position of the sun relative to where they live. When you wake up, it's like, wow, there's too much of the sun now. This is bad.
That's true. Overcast.
Yeah, sometimes it's rainy and cloudy.
Do you use the sun to tell time? Like,
I wish we've discussed before that I wish I knew how to operate a sundial. I don't know how, but yeah, the sun does kind of dictate where I'm at in my day. I will say the sun is getting out earlier though, so this morning it was like, oh wow, I'm running late, and it was only like 6:20, but it's because of daylight savings. Yeah.
Billy mentioned Domino's before, and it made me think of something funny because out of nowhere yesterday, I got a bunch of texts from people of a screenshot of, I guess, ESPN, and it was before the Heat game, and they were doing what everybody does with Miami, using Cuban people and old Cuban people as props at Domino's Park in a way that is just, let's borrow some culture here. But they were sending me the picture because I think it was Nick Friedel who looks a little bit like me. And so people thought It was me, but it was only just a fake-ass Le Batard. They used to have a real Le Batard that could have gone to the Domino Park. Instead, they're sending a fake-looking Le Batard over to the Cuban Park to get a little bit of Cuban domino old people. And I'm watching it, and they're sending me, and I'm looking at this, and I've got this giant smile on my face. He says, oh, wow, to anyone watching this is just sort of bizarro fake thing that they had that now they're renting out with Nick. They're renting out with someone named Nick and sending him into the culture to go siphon off of those old people. What's that game you're playing on the table? Let's send it back and make it and pretend it's near the arena and that there's all sorts of brown stuff near the arena.
How many people do you think were like, I thought Dan left ESPN?
I assume that's why I was getting all these texts, because people were like, hey, I saw you at Domino Park.
Now, let me ask, who do you think is most confused out of the people involved in this arrangement? Nick Friedel getting a phone call and being like, hey, here's how we make this look more Miami. You're going to go to 8th Street, and you're going to put a hat on with a cigar in your mouth and do a report on the Heat while old men are playing dominoes around you. I'm sure he's going, what? Or is it the old men who get tapped on the shoulder by an ESPN camera crew and be like, hey, we want to put you in our shot talking about the Heat, and Nick Friedel is going to sit here amongst you?
It's funny that you asked that question, because I would, in a vacuum, why are we in a vacuum? In a vacuum, I would say it's the old people, but these particular old people are like the monkeys at the zoo who are used to human interactions. They're used to people coming down here and siphoning off the culture. So basically, they're playing dominoes there in the event that a camera crew shows up to let's get some Miami flavor.
They're performatively playing dominoes. They don't actually want to be playing dominoes. They're just there in case cameras show up. Yes.
They've got their lines to say to the cameras. They rehearse. They've been doing it for 15 years in that park.
Do you guys think there's people that think that Miami is just people sitting around playing dominoes? Like, because Domino Park is like smaller than a McDonald's.
That's right.
It's like not a very big
like
space.
8 tables.
Yeah, it's very small. Like, that's not at all what everyone here is doing.
I think it exists there, and our Chamber of Commerce should figure out a way to monetize it more. It exists just so TV crews can come down and siphon off culture from the park next to an actual McDonald's.
So Billy, if you were to paint a more holistic approach of the culture of Miami, where would you have an ESPN camera crew before Game 5 of the Eastern Conference semifinals show up?
FLO Live Arena right now, I would say.
I'd say jail.
Oh, man.
Just places that you find fraud, places that you find corruption, places that you find
City Hall.
Bad behavior by human beings. City Hall's another good one.
So, like, you have, like, Nick Friedel do a report from, like, 11 at 3 o'clock in the morning.
No, at 7.
Yeah.
7 in the morning.
Ooh, 7 in the morning. Good shout.
Sunrise, definitely.
I mean, I'd send someone to like Palacio de Jugos or something.
Which
like
one? Which one, though? Which
anyone.
one?
I mean, just like a common place, right? Because it's always just, the shots are always Domino Park. What are the shots? It's always South Beach.
It's always this strip of land out
Ocean
here.
Drive.
It's always these 10 blocks here, these neon 10 blocks right outside.
Like the Colony Hotel or whatever it is. It's like Ocean Drive, Domino Park.
Where the cruises are. Government cut. I feel like there's always a drone shot of them flying over the
There's a shot of that.
Yeah,
there's
sometimes
always
Freedom Tower.
Always water. There's always there's a drone in water. Always.
A pretty water.
Yeah.
Not the brown water.
Not like Gaga
Real
water.
water.
Yeah, on a good
Not
day.
the Gaga water.
Yeah. Not the canal next to Hard Rock Stadium.
No.
Again, canals.
When that made the shot of the Formula One races are doing like the helicopter shot of the race, that's a sad looking canal.
It is blue or green water. They will find the blue or green water. They will avoid all the brown water.
You know what I would do if I was like producing like one of these things? I would repurpose the fake marina from F1 like in the shots and see if anyone picks up on it. Just like the quick shot of like the marina, just sneak it in between things and see how many people pick up on it. Just my own little joke to myself, you know?
Yeah,
This is from Dan Devine. We were talking earlier, Stugotz, on what happened to Maxey, and Jimmy Butler happened to Maxey. Spoelstra, according to Dan Devine, switched things up, moving Vincent from Maxey to Danny Green, Max Strus from Green to Harris, and Butler over to check Philly's second-year guard. The looming presence of the 5-time all-defensive team selection effectively vaporized Maxey's touches and impact after averaging 23 points on 14.5 shot attempts and 6 free throws through the first 4 games of the series. The Sixers' second leading playoff scorer got off just 2 field goal attempts in the first quarter and finished with only 9 points on 2 for 10 shooting. Most stunning of all, Maxey produced 0 points, 0 assists on the 37 plays he spent matched up with Butler in the half court, according to Second Spectrum's tracking. That was one of the worst offensive performances of the season per 100 possessions, not just for Maxey, but for the entire Sixers team because of that adjustment, as Barkley and Shaq crush Embiid.
I mean, he is the superstar. That's why that's why they're crushing him. But that's a great job out of Smo. And with Jimmy Butler, like, we have to start saying this, Dan. He's a superstar. Like, Jimmy Butler, the way he's playing in these NBA playoffs and the way he's played in the last couple of postseasons, I didn't think Jimmy Butler could be the best guy in a team that wins a championship.
If only Amin hadn't overslept, he could tell us all about Club Superstar.
It's unbelievable what he's doing.
And Nick Wright. He is a great two-way player.
Why are you starting to say this? He led a team to the finals 2 years ago.
Bubble.
But
it's different.
But
I'm
no,
sorry, 40 on the road in Philadelphia
I
is different than 40 in a bubble. It is.
I know it's different, but still everyone's trying to win the championship.
Yep.
And he got the team to the championship. Like,
I'm saying this now because, Woody, we are not far removed from Stan Van Gundy saying if Jimmy Butler's your best player, you're not winning a championship. If he's your third best player, you have a good chance of winning a championship. He is their best player, and they have a good chance of winning a championship. And I'm still surprised by it.
But because he's their best player, you will get no national buy-in on the idea that they have a good chance at winning the championship. You'll get no national buy-in on that. You'll get Miami buy-in on that. Yeah. But I don't know how to do this definition, right? Because the star and superstar things, Stugotz, I don't know, what is it? 8 players? 7 players? 10 players? Like, what measures a star? Because Ben Simmons is a star. It's fame. There's a lot of fame there.
No, he's a star.
Well, but Ben Simmons, if he's your best player, you're not winning anything. Like, how are we defining this? Because as Amin and Nick Wright will argue about this shortly, because Nick Wright stole Amin's idea, but whatever it is, club superstar, you allowed in. Tatum is knocking on the door. Tatum's in. Is he knocking on the door? Where do you put this stuff? Because I am consistently surprised, and should not be anymore. It's not right, but yet I hold on to whatever my viewpoints were before he got here. When Jimmy Butler scores 45, I'm surprised. When he scores 40 or when he mid-ranges you to death, Stugotz, I don't even understand what's happening with Jimmy Butler from 3. Jimmy Butler, Stugotz, at one point this season was 17 for 90.
I know.
From 3.
Yep.
17 for 90. He could not shoot threes, and now he is shooting threes. They're asking him to shoot threes. They're begging him to shoot threes, and he's shooting threes respectfully. He's
32% in this series.
Okay,
yes.
It's not
Russell, a lot better than where he was.
It's not Russell Westbrook terrible, but it's not also what I've been saying, which is that dude can't shoot from 3, and he's been shooting from 3 and making it enough from 3.
Hell of a player, though.
Oh, hey.
I mean, look, you want to know why he's making it enough now? Winning time.
Welcome. I can hear last night on your voice.
Wow.
I don't know what it is that you did.
The craziest morning I've had. The craziest morning. You know,
you were sleeping.
No, look. Stugotz, so here's the thing. Here's a secret I'm going to let on to the whole audience.
Okay. Secret.
I don't have an alarm. I don't set alarms.
What?
I wake up naturally. Doesn't matter what time zone I'm in. Like Kramer.
But you can have an alarm because you have a phone with alarms. Like, you can choose them.
I should get a stove.
I should get a stove. That's true. If I could travel with a life-size oven.
Never fails me.
And just set the timer and let it go off.
You have a good life if you don't have to set an alarm to wake up for anything.
I just have a natural body clock. But
failed you today.
It failed me. No, here's the crazy thing. You know why it failed me today? Because I set an alarm. I said, hey,
what?
Miami's happening right now. I mean, I don't trust your ability to wake up due to the clock. I said, you know what? That's a good point, Amin. So I put the alarm on.
Yeah.
Everything will be fine.
Yeah.
Alarm goes off 7 a.m. I'm like, perfect. Plenty of time. Don't have to be in here until 8.
Yeah.
Right?
It's 9:37.
You ever have that? It's like, exactly. So it's like 7. So I'm like, snooze.
Yeah. Snooze, there it is. Wait a
Snooze,
minute.
you lose.
I don't have to be here till 8. I've got plenty of time.
Hit it again.
Plenty of time.
So had you not set this alarm, you would have gotten here at 8.
Would have felt the guilt. Like, hey, you need to wake up
In your sleep.
in my sleep.
That's what I was trying to say.
The clock gave me a confidence that I wouldn't have had normally.
Put it on the poll, Guillermo. Have you felt guilt in your sleep at
Guilt.
LeBatard Show?
Guilt sleep.
Every night.
Man.
Every night.
Jimmy Butler is shooting he's shooting
That's all my story.
37% from 3 the last 17 games. And I mean, before Nick Wright comes in here,
That fraud.
What is fraud Nick Wright? What is the definition of superstar? Because you and I have been having a form of this conversation about Jimmy Butler since he got here, where
Before.
I continue to put him outside of the top 10. To me, I don't know what I'm doing there. I think top 10 in my head is, do I believe you can win a championship as the best player? And yet I consistently find myself surprised, even as he's now like franchise leader and playoff triple doubles and controls these games and is respected by all as an unbelievably smart and great two-way player. I still find myself surprised every time Jimmy Butler puts up 40.
Here's where I'm surprised. We started this conversation when he was in Minnesota. When he had his fallout in Minnesota, you guys openly questioned, who is Jimmy Butler to behave in this fashion? Why? How dare he? He's a good player, but he's no superstar. I said, false. He is a superstar.
But I mean, at the time, we were right to question.
Hold
that.
on. You weren't, because at the time, he'd already been multiple-time All-Star, multiple-time All-NBA, and All-Defensive Team. And so I said, he's got all the accolades. And you guys pointed out, I don't see him in any commercials, and I didn't have a response. My response was, well, superstars are about winning basketball games. And you guys said, well, no, it's more than that. Fast forward. Not only does he lead this team in all those categories, goes to the NBA Finals, wins big games, takes on Joel Embiid and says, come on, guard me. You can't guard me. All those things. But also, you know what I see every, commercial break and a half?
I only want to be with you.
That commercial is played so much.
Oh, it's
too
enough.
much. Too
It's
much.
Enough.
Enough. Can he sing another 90s song?
He can, by the way. And they're all not the songs you think he'd sing. That's the crazy thing about Jimmy Butler. But
I know, but he did Hall & Oates during the bubble.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm just like, why couldn't they record 6 versions of that commercial? And
No.
in one of them, he's singing "Making My
No.
Way Downtown."
look at this
Walking
non-superstar ass opinion right here.
Exactly.
He's all about efficiency. He
Yeah.
wants all 6
Oh,
commercials.
I'm sorry. Why does he have to keep going to the hole and getting fouled or scoring or both? Why doesn't he mix it up a bit with some different things? No, that's not what superstars do. They do whatever they can until you can stop them from doing it. And the reality is, this man's nickname should have been for a long time, but I'm quitting it right now on air. My guy Jason Jackson picked up on it the other night. He started dropping it. The Michelob Man. He is the Michelob Man.
Nick Wright said that last week.
Yeah, Nick Wright's going to use it next week and say, we've been workshopping that one for 7 whole days.
I don't think that's good enough to be stolen.
Michelob Man? What about when he drops 40? Crack open another 40-ounce for the Michelob Man.
That's better.
Yeah.
You should present Nick Wright ideas to steal from you when he's on today.
You know what?
Yes.
I'm going to be honest. I'm not mad at that. I would rather Nick Wright say, hey, Amin, hey, how's it going, man? I really like your MVP club thing. I'm trying MVP bar. I want to workshop something different so people don't think I'm lifting. What do you think? And then I will collaborate with him. Yeah. I'm a collaborative guy. Yeah, everyone in here knows I'm a collaborative guy. Yeah. But Nick Wright, no. That's how you know he's a thief, because he doesn't even ask. Thievery. He takes it.
We will get to
What's
this.
the fun in asking?
We will get to this beef with Nick Wright in a moment. Max
I don't like the
Strus.
sarcasm in the word, the way you would say the word beef.
Max Strus has the highest plus minus in the 2022 playoffs, plus 119.
He's really good.
Get out of here.
Well, I just love that. I love that Spoelstra is forced to trust his people more than fandom, which insists on getting Duncan Robinson out there that.
But then he got the minutes, and he got them early. Like Spo did. Listen, he did it, though. He gave him 5 minutes to see if Duncan could hit a couple of
happened.
shots. Okay, and then he put him back on the bench, and they still won the game.
Nothing happened. Let me tell you what happened. I was sitting there with Chris Cody, and if you listen to the pregame, postgame, you'll know this story, right? We're sitting there, and it's 5 minutes left in the half, pretty much, roughly, and Duncan comes to the scores table, and all of FTX Arena rises.
They wanted so badly for him to hit a 3.
Like Alonzo Mourning coming back from the kidney problem. It was
desperation.
It was insane. Like
everybody, Stugotz was voicing yesterday what that arena wanted. Give me Duncan Robinson out there to shoot a 3 so that I can hope it'll go in.
It gets better. So he checks in. Maybe one possession happens. There's a stoppage in play. It's taking the refs a little bit of time to figure out what's going on. So
everybody's saying, get the ball to Duncan. Get the ball to Duncan.
The arena video board operator was like, you know what, let's just throw Duncan on the screen. Yeah. So he starts following Duncan. And you know what happens? We get another standing ovation. They're like, oh, he's there. And I'm like, is this really happening?
It's funny.
And so
deserves it.
2 possessions down, swings to Duncan Robinson. He catches. And everyone, you hear that murmur when people think something amazing is about to happen. And he shoots. And yeah, that's exactly what happened. He misses it. And there was it was a letdown, but it wasn't a letdown of like, you bum. It was a letdown of like, oh. We really wanted it for you.
We want this for you.
He missed 2 and then right back to the bench.
Right back. No, the best part was as he's about to sub out, I think Strus comes back in. You get the buzzer. You see Strus start to walk on the court. Duncan starts hiding behind Danny Green. As if, like, Strus would just be like, I couldn't find him, so Oladipo, you got to come out.
Listen, I can't go in. I can't find Duncan. I mean, where is he? Coach, you find him.
Of all the hiding places, like, I suppose Thibault is thinner, but, like, of all the hiding places, Danny Green, like, you're going to see all of Duncan's body parts not hidden behind Danny Green.
It was a very poor hiding job. Let me just say that right now.
This from the makers of the Mike Bibby standing ovation in 2011.
It's what
we love irrationally getting behind players.
Yep.
Sometimes, well, most of them seem to be white because the other one I thought of was Chris Birdman Anderson as well.
Warden.
I'm going to tell you right now.
Exactly.
The
Warden was black.
Shout. The Warden's a good shout.
And Dexter Pittman.
But Victor... No.
Dexter Pittman.
Hell no.
Get out of here.
But Victor Oladipo caught a lot of that too. Victor Oladipo had a crossover on James Harden that really didn't take him anywhere. But this crowd, remember those N1 videos where the guy would cross somebody over and then
to my loop.
No, watch this. But Tony, remember, like it wouldn't even matter what happened. The guy would just throw the ball in the air and just walk away, and the crowd was like, "It's over, it's over." And the defender's like, he literally didn't do anything other than move from here to here, and I was there with him. Oh baby, that's what Oladipo did last night. A crowd just swooned.
You were so right. It was the highlight of that game was Oladipo. He crossed him over, and nobody did anything, and Oladipo was still staring at him because the guy was still right there.
It was Harden, not the guy. It was Harden, like a guy who's renowned for not being really good at defense. He would like Harden stayed in front of him. But the crowd, you couldn't tell them anything.
I mean, you were ripped by Greg Cody in his column this morning. Yes, he took a shot at you.
Oh, there was a typo, so it may not have been about you.
Yeah. And by the way, Oladipo, pretty good last night. I want to apologize.
No, he wasn't.
Yeah, he was pretty good.
No, he wasn't.
5 of 10. I don't want to hear about it.
Stugotz, I sat there next to Chris.
50%, yeah.
And when he checks out at the end, I said, first of all, Chris was like, well, look at his plus minus. He's better today. I said, look, he is better, but they've been better when he's off the floor. So whatever good he's done, they're better when he's off the floor. So at the end of the game, he checks out and they're up 30. And I said, Chris, they're going to win by 40 now. He's like, no way.
You're wrong.
I was wrong, but they won by 35. They're still better off when he's not on the floor.
I don't think that makes you right.
Makes me absolutely right.
Garbage time.
This is from Greg Cody's column. NBA analyst Amin Al-Hassan said on the Dan Le Batard Show podcast Tuesday, he thought Adebayo was playing scared in his matchup with the bigger Embiid. The timing of the criticism seemed odd.
Okay, so first of all, Greg, if I might address you directly. Gregory, thank you.
You're welcome.
You sat there in that studio for 4 hours and never once voiced a objecting opinion or
you took his minutes, though.
Did I?
Yeah, you took his
Yeah,
minutes.
you did.
I tried to lob Greg up with easy opinions to backfire on me.
It was strange yesterday. All of us had this reaction. Greg Cody, for reasons none of us could immediately discern, decided to sit out the last 90 minutes of yesterday's
He was
show.
confused.
He just stared. I
so
think
He lost his friend.
I think he was confused. He lost his friend. Bill Nill, Joey. He lost his friends.
Bill Nilly.
Nilly.
No,
Yeah.
Billy Nilly's still with us. It was Joey. That
Oh,
sniffed the
yeah.
glue,
The sniff glue,
But
yeah.
for 90 minutes, I'm convinced that he didn't know where your voice was coming from. He didn't know who to argue with or whether you were in studio, and so he took it to his column later in the day. I remind you that when I walked in yesterday in a studio by himself wearing no headphones, Greg Cody just said the 2 words, "I am." And I looked around because I was the only one in here and wondered who he was talking to, and he was talking to himself. He was answering the question to himself, are you going home today before you go to the Heat game? And he was I didn't hear the question. I just heard his own response to himself, I am.
That's classic Greg Cody right there.
So you'll love this. I saw Greg at halftime, by the way, another opportunity to voice any concerns. Didn't say a word, right? Walked in at halftime. He's in the media room, went to get a charger from Chris's bag. And the moment me and Chris walk in the media room, what's Greg Cody doing? Coughing vigorously.
Oh, no.
And we say, of course. And he's like, that's the first cough I've had all day long. Yeah, right.
Well, he didn't. He was healthy but silent yesterday. You had all sorts of thoughts. You were amused that Cody was going for some sort of religious serenity with his "I am." You thought that he was over there practicing mantra and meditation.
I thought about like the verse in the Bible about the burning bush, right? And Moses seeing the burning bush, and that's God or whatever. I thought of René Descartes saying, I think, therefore I am. I really went into like the existential being of Greg Cody when he says, I am, to nobody in general other than the universe, right? I loved it. And then he turns around and stabs me in the back. This is why people don't like the media, by the way. You know that, right? I see this guy all day long, all day and all night. Never says Amin. Yo, I thought you said, or I thought this, or I thought that. Also, I'm going to just throw this out there. You know what the MVP of the game was?
What's that, I mean?
It wasn't Jimmy Butler.
Ooh.
It wasn't Bam Adebayo.
Tell us.
Certainly wasn't Duncan or Victor Oladipo. It was Dwayne Dedman.
Oh, yeah.
And do you know why it was
Because
Dwayne
he
Dedman?
hit Embiid in the face with a basketball.
Because finally somebody said, "Oh, you want to play hurt?
See?
Let's play hurt."
See?
Yep.
Chicken wings.
And immediately, you know it. You watched that game. If you were awake, Stugotz, you saw Embiid whole demeanor shift after that. He didn't want any parts of it.
I
Send
saw
the
it.
message.
I saw it before that. Going up for that rebound, Embiid was tentative because he was protecting his face before that happened. He didn't. Dedman got to the ball first because Embiid was backing away from that. And I understand it. I understand if your face is feeling shattered pain, why it is you would be tentative. It seems like a really human response.
Absolutely. This is not a criticism of Embiid. It is a praise of the mechanic, Dwayne Dedman. Everyone else played like this was YMCA basketball. Like, guys, he's hurt. Be careful around him.
Right. You're
Stop
out there.
being
You're
careful.
out there. Yeah.
I'm not saying be dirty. Don't punch him in the face.
Finally.
But play basketball.
That's right.
Like it was meant to be played.
Amin, try this one on for size. We were talking about this a little bit earlier.
When I was asleep.
Yeah. So, well, it wasn't your fault. The alarm failed you.
Yeah.
It gave you the
Did.
false sense of security.
Also, nothing feels more like Miami than my contact lenses right now. Holy hell.
By the way, before we
Nothing
get to what I was
sounds
going to
more
ask
like
you about-
Miami.
I was gonna say there's a different timbre to his voice.
He sounds like
I
he
like
has,
it. No, I like it.
So do
It's,
I.
it's a good
It sounds good,
Smoky.
but he's got the smoky. He's got a bar at 4 a.m. in Miami's volume. It's soaked. It is soaked in
3:45.
going too hard in Miami.
I
Late.
noticed something about Amin before we get back to the Heat for a second that's very surprising to me. Amin, you have a naked phone. You don't have a case. You don't have the glass cover. You're just walking around with the phone out of the box, which seems like the most dangerous thing that you can do with a phone. And you already dropped it once here. How is it that you don't have stress walking around with that phone like that?
Billy, I'm glad you asked. So, I was watching this documentary about concussions. And they're saying, all these different sports where the concussions happen. Obviously, football ranked very highly. And so, and soccer, and there's a bunch of sports where the concussions happen. And so, the researchers thought rugby Those guys have zero protection. All they do is smash into each other. This has to be the one where the most concussions. And what they found was it was actually one of the least. And like, why is that? And the reason why was because rugby players play with no protection. They don't launch themselves crazily. They actually have a self kind of governor not to go balls to the wall because they understand there's no protection. Meanwhile, football players have all this padding and stuff. They feel like, I'm invincible. Throw me off the top of the Empire State Building. And so...
But you dropped your phone already in the studio today.
I did today. And
Get to the phone. I mean,
well, here's the point. Well, there's a story behind everything.
I know, but you mentioned soccer.
I'm a
you lost me when
sorry.
you said I watched a documentary. You should have said I saw a TikTok on how to save your phone. And I'm
That's a
like,
good
boom,
point.
let's go.
I need to appeal to a younger generation. Watch the TikTok about concussions.
Yeah.
So I looked at my phone. I had this big bulky case, and the phone was cracked. And I said, why was it cracked? Because I had this big bulky case. I felt very flippant. I was dropping my phone left and right. So I removed the phone case, and since then, my phone injuries have gone down drastically. Now,
Big gash.
the gash is from when I passed my phone to someone else.
It's never your fault.
It's not my fault. What can I do? I passed the phone to someone else.
Butterfingers,
This
huh?
is a theme, though, with your both your clocks and your phones, which
Yeah.
is you set forth the protective devices. You rely on things to protect you from yourself.
Yes. So all the protections that society offers me act in against my favor. If I just trusted myself,
like
if
it.
I just believe in the force, like the force shall set me free.
Yeah.
And it does. And every time I've been betrayed is when I said, oh, Amin, there is no force. We're just people. Just give me a blaster. And you know what happens? Like Han Solo. Right through my stomach. Spoiler alert.
We are going to get into this beef with Nick Wright in a moment.
Wait, we didn't get to the point about UD. So try this one on for size. We were talking about this before, Amin.
Size.
Yeah. So how about this? So let's say the 76ers win Game
We
6.
didn't get to the point about UD.
It's a great point.
No, it is
Just hear
because
it out.
it
hear
follows
it
up
out.
on what he was talking about.
Right.
So if the 76ers win Game 6, they come for Game 7. We say, you know what? You start UD. You put him out there on the jump, and you have him covering Embiid, and you just let him know at any point he could get a chicken wing right to the face. So he's going to be playing a little bit more scared.
You like it?
You know what's funny? Everyone makes a big deal about the face, and not enough people are saying, why aren't people hacking the hell out of that thumb?
Yeah, they should.
UD, I don't know if he can reach the face, to be honest with you.
Well, he's got 6 fouls. I mean, 3 to the face, 3
Exactly.
to the thumb.
Boom, boom,
He's
boom,
got
boom,
6
boom,
fouls.
boom, boom.
Does he have 6 extra inches as well to reach the face? No, but that thumb is right there.
You mentioned the
Careful what you
comfort.
say.
You mentioned the comfort of both the alarm giving you a false sense of security, but you also mentioned football players being more reckless because they're covered in armor. And one of the things I thought when Embiid got hit in the face by the basketball was that mask is useless as actual protection. That mask does not feel to him as anything other than a discomfort on his face that's not actually making him feel any safer about anything out there because he's moving his head away from things as he should because his face is shattered.
Dan, it's ridiculous, right? The idea is like, oh, how am I going to protect this broken face? Well, I'm going to put a mask that is pretty much right up against it. Of course, if I poke him with my finger like so, boop, like that, that's going to hurt him. It may not injure him, but anything that's making contact with his face is going to still hurt when something is made contact to that. It is a false sense of security. So this is my suggestion to Embiid, if I may. Get rid of the mask.
Really?
Just go out
It
there.
worked the first 2 games, though. I mean,
No. Here's what you do, Stugotz. You all right?
Stugotz, he was not the MVP in the
Well,
first.
they won.
Stugotz, but
They
he,
won.
Yeah, he wasn't the MVP at all.
2 W's.
But Stugotz, he was not. Thank you, Billy. He was not as good in those games.
We've established that. We know that. He was better.
Those were below average games for him. They were just.
Last night was really bad. Those were 2 below average games, which are still good games for Joel Embiid.
Not really.
They're below average, Dan. Anyone would love to have those types of games. We all realize
Stugotz,
he's injured. Last night was dreadful.
But game 3, what I'm telling you is that game 3 and 4, for all the credit you're giving him, those were below the average game that he had this season. Anybody would tell you that. He was not dominant. He affected the game,
Right.
but he was not what you expect from Joel Embiid. He's a shell of himself.
Like Luke Skywalker when Ben Kenobi put on the helmet and said, with the blast shields down, I can't see anything. How am I supposed to fight? And Ben Kenobi says, trust your instincts. Your eyes can deceive you, which, by the way,
Obi-Wan.
is a line that we use. Thank you, Stugotz. It's a line that we use in Basketball Illuminati and today's episode. Mwah. I'll get to that later.
No, I want to get to that now. I want to tell people in the post-game show, you will get more Heat coverage from Amin El Hassan and Chris Cody. In Big Suey, you will find Megan Rapinoe. In a few minutes, we will get to Amin's feud with Nick Wright. But close out this hour, Amin, by telling us what both Basketball Illuminati and Cinephobe are doing. Both of them very popular on the Le Batard and Friends network. You're very proud of them. We're very proud of them. Tell them what you've got coming up in these the episodes for Cinephobe this month and Basketball Illuminati today.
Okay, so first of all, it sounds like you guys did a hell of a show when I wasn't here. Megan Rapinoe, and there's a
you were
pre-game,
sleeping.
post-game.
Yeah, you were
look,
sleeping.
Yeah, we got a lot done. Yeah.
Really?
Yeah, big game.
Oh, big game. Yeah.
Rapinoe, repeat, hell no.
Yeah,
That's ruined my reputation.
I did.
We've got to get to that in a
Talk
second.
soccer.
Whittingham is furious. He's furious with
why is that? I
Stugotz
mean-
because you immediately, upon being exposed by Megan Rapinoe on something that was your error, you immediately blamed to Megan Rapinoe Chris Whittingham.
I did.
And it was a soccer-related error?
It
It
was.
was a soccer-related error.
We were playing Rapinoe or Rapine hell no. And I did something, that I would do. Yeah.
Yeah,
Just leave it at that.
Stugotz
Yeah.
asked, throw the shackles on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And Stugotz sent me the list of Rapinoe,
You were
hell
wrong
no.
about that.
And I said, Stu, I don't even know what that shackles thing means.
Yeah.
Change it to parking the bus.
Mm-hmm.
And for some reason, when it came to actually bring it to Megan Rapinoe, you said throw the shackles on,
Yeah.
and then pivoted to parking the bus,
Right.
and then blame me for that.
No, I think the order was I went shackles on, then got flustered, then blamed you, then read your notes, and then went with park the bus.
It doesn't
Sorry.
matter. Yeah, it doesn't matter.
Yeah. I mean, we got it right.
Well, as
you
long
know?
as long as one of the greatest women's soccer players of all time knows.
She said
that
the
it
men have
wasn't-
to do it in the
it
World
wasn't
Cup.
me,
How about that?
Yep,
Yeah.
she enjoyed
Yeah.
it.
Back
Yes.
to you, Amin. Yeah.
Spoiler
She's
alert.
awesome for saying that. The men do have to do it. Do it when it counts. How about that? Oh, you beat Costa Rica and Orlando. Congratulations. Oh, U.S. men's national team. Oh, my
What was
God.
Obi-Wan Kenobi saying?
Oh, he was saying
That's right.
We beat
your
Panama
eyes can
and
deceive
Orlando.
you. Trust your instincts. And Luke Skywalker, sure enough, like the blast shields were down, he couldn't see anything, and then bzz, 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 he blasted everything. You know why? Because he didn't trust in sight and things that are available to everybody. He trusted in the Force. Joel Embiid, you need to trust in the Force.
Again, I was trying to get you to promote. For some reason, you get distracted.
Yeah, but you cut him off in the middle of his
I
only
did
one
not.
point.
I did not cut him off.
feel
You
like you
were
did.
you were somebody who embarrassed Whittingham in a
I
way
did not.
that infuriates Whittingham. Put it on the poll, please, Guillermo, at Le Batard Show. You beat Costa Rica in Orlando. Congratulations. Yes or no?
I mean, was it not Costa Rica and Orlando? What was
No,
it?
no,
Really?
Panama and
no,
Orlando.
no,
Panama.
it doesn't
Beat
matter.
Mexico and Mexico. How about that?
How about
Score
that?
a goal. Exactly.
It
Yeah.
doesn't
0-0.
matter. But
Jeez.
please, before we get to your beef with
Everyone
Nick
gets
Wright,
into the World Cup.
why should people be listening to
Except
Basketball Illuminati?
Okay, so Basketball Illuminati, obviously we like to explore themes that are, about what's happening behind the scenes. We're not like every other podcast is just breaking down, wow, Devin Booker last night, how did he get it done? No, we don't do that. We're giving you stuff that you're not getting anywhere else. And so well, you're getting on First Things First like months later because they've been workshopping it for months. We talked to Patrick Ruby, who is an excellent writer. He's an excellent feature writer. He's written for ESPN. He's written for Yahoo. He's written for a bunch of outlets. And 10 years ago, Patrick Ruby wrote an article about conspiracy theories in sports, and he focused a large part of it on the 1985 NBA draft lottery. And so he wrote this piece. He was commissioned by ESPN. He was paid by ESPN to write this piece, wrote it, traveled all across the country, spoke to people, spoke to a magician. He did all types of stuff. Yes, a magician.
It's weird.
He hands it in, and they say, on second thought, never mind. Wow. Right? And so, shocking, right? And so he tries to throw it to Grantland because Bill Simmons, at the time, he loves conspiracy theories. He speaks truth to power. He's not scared of anything. And Bill Simmons politely passed after Grantland was interested, right? Wow. He ends up publishing it on Yahoo, and we find out that it was spiked because of fear that David Stern did not want this story out there because he's examining the Zapruder film of the envelope. Was it frozen? Did it have a tilted corner, whatever? And so we get into a very fascinating discussion with him about that story, about why the NBA was so afraid of that story, about why Patrick's story got, the conspiracy theory behind the story itself rather than just what he was talking about. Oh, it is, I told Patrick, I said, I feel like we're in episode 13 of Illuminati, and I felt like over the last 3 or 4 weeks, I kind of lost the juice. Yeah, I was like doing my little shtick, but
but you're back.
13 episodes in. I mean,
so back.
Jesus Christ! How many years?
Not good.
Right.
How many years have we been doing this? How many years are you paid for?
I'm sorry.
13
You do
episodes.
13 episodes a
13
day.
episodes.
I mean,
we do
geez.
13 a goddamn day.
I'm sorry. You think all of these are Hall of Fame worthy? Hey, let's talk
Mine
to Amin
are.
about why he's late. Oh, I'm sure this one's gonna live forever.
Today would have been Hall of Fame worthy if you'd gotten here on time.
Exactly. I have breaking news, big breaking news on a Wednesday. Christopher Mad Dog Russo on vacation. Oh my God. No talking on a Wednesday
He
now.
hasn't even done 13 shows. He hasn't even done 13. We will get to more talk about basketball Illuminati, but first we've got to get to Nick Wright. He's got to defend himself because he's a grifter and a thief and a fraud, and
That's why he's my guy.
He's next.